kind, welcome back to Fresh Slick and Mick. This is episode 39, Windsor, Ontario's finest modern millennial bro down. Today, we're throwing it back a little bit. Throwback. It is Thursday, Throwback Thursday. We're going to talk about nostalgia, what it is, where it comes from, who experiences it, why we experience it, and if you're experienced like Jimi Hendrix, you know what I'm saying? How y'all doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm feeling pretty nostalgic with the references.
I'm experimenting with intro formats. I'm just like I gotta, maybe the reason we get no social hits isn't because we're shit. It's because I should mention it at the start, not the end. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, because no one listens to the whole thing.
Or maybe we're shit. I don't know. Check us out though, Fresh Slick and Mick, on Instagram, Facebook. We on Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah,
it always fucks me up because I want to say iTunes, but it's not iTunes.
It's a totally new thing or whatever.
Sons of bitches. Anyway,
fucking Apple.
Fresh Slick and Mick on all your favorite social and audio formats. Check it out, y'all. Anyway, how we doing?
Oh, there we go. Well, Mickey already answered. He said he was okay.
No one cares.
It's true.
Right? We just erase that? You want me to cut that part out?
Mickey, how you doing? Awesome.
It's good, man. I'm all right. I'm happy we're back here doing this, talking about this.
Me too.
I've learned a lot.
As soon as we agreed on a 2-week format instead of an every week format, I started missing it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm liking the time though because I like having stronger stuff, stronger material, stronger information.
I dig it, but for the amount of time that I put into it, which isn't to say like I didn't put any time into it, but like I could do that in a week. I could do that.
Yeah. You could do it in a couple hours, realistically.
Yeah.
If you really
have some
wanted
good
to.
shit.
But no, it was cool reading about this topic specifically. And sitting on it though, that's the thing. It's like sitting on the reading because you could do it in an hour. Usually, if I did any research, it would be like the day before for like 2 hours,
right?
Roughly. But you don't get a chance to like sit on the topic too much, so it was nice to have that.
Let it stir, stew, stink,
nice thick,
fester.
Okay, now it's getting real.
We were getting there.
Well, I mean, I figured last episode we looked ahead. We had New Year.
Yeah.
Look ahead at the new decade and whatnot, the new millennium, because apparently it only started this year, according to Mickey.
I'm getting better, I swear.
Yeah. He got a real phone.
I did.
How about it for our boy? Woo!
Looking forward.
I was so excited to show them that I have data.
Yeah, you're caught up to like 2010.
Yeah,
okay, so we should really lay this out because like nobody knows how fucking irritating this is. Like we be trying to communicate with this guy, and we have several formats by which we exchange information, right? So we got the Gmail.
Yep.
That all materials are supposed to go to. Anything we're all supposed to review or anything that's going to get posted, pictures, what have you, that's all supposed to go there. This kid, like, I don't even know if you logged into it ever.
I have, and every time I do, you guys go, "Hey, was that you?"
Yeah, because you never do. So we get a notification like
security alert.
Yeah,
Google security alert.
No, and the thing is, though, it's not saying unknown person. It's oh fuck, Mickey's logging in. Just letting you guys know. You might want to fucking check this afterwards. You might delete something.
If only you could send personal messages like that. Like, sorry guys, I fucked up. It's me logging in. Like, on the email.
When you log, yeah, for sure. And then there's so we got the Google Hangouts going for like the everyday chat shit and everything, even just talking, not about podcast stuff. And it's like Mickey will jump in, read the last one message, and then be like, haha, what are we talking about? Haha, XD. Just like, bro, scroll up, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. And then the Reddit chat.
Oh, the Reddit
where
is terrible.
He just joined after a year. He hasn't seen any of the fucking posts.
Well, no, like, I joined, and then I was like, oh, yeah, I have that. Better get on that shit. And it's like 46 messages. I'm like, whoops.
Oh, yeah, because we got all these links, and you and I are kind of Redditors, so we're like always checking out all this cool new shit or funny shit and everything.
And Mickey's like, haha, what's up, XD?
No. I have the app on my phone.
Yep.
And I actually did a post on Reddit asking some questions. So, a question.
Good
Per-
job.
pertaining to the podcast or just
No,
for,
just
for
in general.
whatever?
Actually, legal stuff, but
Look
just,
at
just
you
more so
fucking
kind of
go.
feedback.
Wow.
But yeah.
Woo. Go Mickey. Go Mickey. Woo. Anyway,
All right. Well, anyway, that's it. We're very proud of our boy,
moving forward.
And
And,
now
now we're
we're-
looking back.
and now we're moving forward and looking back.
Wow, Mickey, look how far you come. Remember when you sucked?
Yeah.
Like
Looking back
today.
today.
So y'all, what do y'all think about nostalgia? Because here's my immediate impression, just to kind of like lay the format out. I am very distrustful of anything labeled nostalgic, because I'm always like, why? Everybody's so in love with it. And I don't know if it's a product, like a byproduct of having social media, so we can see these symbols of nostalgia a lot more than we ever did. Whereas before, you might like see something in a store that kind of like reminds you, and you think, oh yeah, that. But now it's like people are just bombarding us to set our emotional triggers off.
Right.
Like BuzzFeed articles and shit like this. Like only '90s kids will remember phones with cords. Stupid shit like
Yeah.
that. So when I feel it in myself, I'm like, this is fucking stupid, and I just like try and like put it to bed. So what do y'all think about like just nostalgia generally?
You want to go?
Sure.
Yeah, you go.
See, when you started bringing it up, my first thought was just more so memories of then, not necessarily specific things. I'll explain it better. I always wish I could go back and feel the first time I put in the Pokemon Red cartridge and played that motherfucker with the
By,
mouse.
the,
shit.
by the hand actions, I thought he
Yeah.
was saying something else.
The first time I put in, just jammed it right, it just shoved it right in.
That game cartridge.
I think I'm
Pokemon
going
Red
a little bit.
cartridge.
That's fucking hilarious.
But
okay.
But for me,
Go on.
that's always what I have felt nostalgia for me. But when I think of how other people look at nostalgia, I think what they're thinking is, yeah, remember we didn't have to fucking wear our seatbelts? Remember when airbags were like an option?
Yeah.
Like that's why I go like, why do you think that was an okay time? Oh fuck, we just walk around in the back seat of the car like it was nothing. Like that's not an okay thing. Like, oh yeah, I used to hitchhike from here to there, like it was no problem. A lot of people died. Just because it didn't happen to you doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Like you're really missing the point here.
Yeah. That's so fucking weird that you said Pokemon.
Okay,
Because
go on.
right before I came here, I was chatting with my mom, and I was telling her about the topic, and I was like, I just remember, like maybe grade 8. I'm sitting on my couch. It's like, 8 a.m. Cartoons are on, but not like too loud because I got my Game Boy Color.
Yes.
And I'm playing Pokemon.
Yes.
That's exactly what I said, and this motherfucker brings up
Yeah.
Pokemon.
There you go.
So weird. I don't know, man. I think I don't necessarily think it's bad,
Okay.
and I don't necessarily think it's good.
Okay.
I think it shares both of those tributes in its own way. And I think it's all dependent on the person, kind of like what Mickey just said. I think it's how you look at it. So like if it's more personal or if it's more like time based or like rule based, like
So what you're saying is older people who have nostalgia are fucking stupid.
no, not necessarily. Because my mother, she'll tell me like, oh, I remember when I was young and we would get like their treat for the week on Saturday because they didn't have like a lot of money growing up or whatever. So
Right.
she would get excited and they'd have that like pop or whatever.
Okay,
And like watch
okay.
a movie and she
Yeah.
remembers those feelings like
See, but
Mickey
yeah,
said.
that's what I've always thought true nostalgia would be.
Yeah, and we'll get into it
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
but you're basically right.
All done.
Yeah.
Good show, guys. Fucking Mickey ruined it.
I'll tell you one thing I'm nostalgic for though.
What?
Winter. Like
Yeah.
actual winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the up and down shit.
I can remember playing in snow as a child and wonderful things.
Yeah, it's playing hockey outside. Like when a creek would freeze for a long enough
fuck
time,
yeah.
you could skate on it. Yeah, I remember doing that like, as a kid.
I miss when cold didn't bother me as much because you were having so much fun. Do you remember ever being cold when you were a kid? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's cold outside, but you're just doing shit. It didn't matter.
Okay, I got this question though. How much of the time when you're outside now are you doing anything?
No, that is a big part of it because, like,
Okay.
if you see a grown man with a beard like mine building a snow fort on his front property, you're not gonna think he's well. And especially if there's
know.
nobody else around.
Do you
him.
not remember my old place?
I think this was before you and I. Like we may have worked together, but before.
I used to build a snow fort. Well, every year that we got enough snow for it, I would build a snow fort. I'd take my recycle bins and build like
Those are the-
crazy blocks, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Pour a little bit of water over it, nice and
Yeah.
hard, and like. So on the one side, I had hedges, probably about 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Between my neighbor's yard and mine, and so I would use that as the barrier, and then go all the way around to the driveway. It was gangster.
That-
It was fucking-
that is
and I'd
neat.
just sit in
Fair
it and
enough,
drink
then.
coffee because now I'm old enough to drink coffee. Like this is the dream.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
then.
man. That sounds great. Mickey just sounds like he's shoving happiness down his, in his dark soul.
Well,
He doesn't like snow forts.
yeah, I thought that
Well,
was
I
my
like
job.
snow forts,
Well,
but
then build one.
well, it's just I'm crippled dish, so it sometimes it hurts.
Fair.
That is fair.
I'll help you.
Thanks, man.
Problem. Anytime.
We'll get a ramp into the snow fort so I can walk up it a little
Yeah,
easier.
get your walker in there.
Yeah, my cane.
Remember when you had a cane? Yeah, let's get nostalgic about some. Remember when you had a cane steady?
Oh, wow.
That sucked, dude.
You should have that now, though, with that hat. Like, it would look
why
great.
not?
It would fit the outfit.
But no, yeah, fuck that sucked, dude. Like
No
I think
shit,
about there's probably not at least a week that goes by I don't think about it.
I have a question. Do you have those same ongoing health problems? Because like, I don't see you limping much these days.
No,
and-
as long as I keep taking my supplements, I'm doing great.
No
and
shit.
I'm being a little more mobile too. I'm staying away from the high impact crap because I have to.
So
Essentially,
no
like,
more Tough Mudders for you?
I wasn't supposed to do the first one. My
Yeah,
doctor,
I know that.
Yeah, because my doctor was like, "This won't be an annual thing, is it?" I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Just trust me, just don't. Like, you shouldn't be doing this one, but I'm gonna okay to do it. But like if I can do like even maybe half ones in the future, I don't know. I still want to do them.
yeah, that smells like bullshit to me. I think you can get yourself to a state of
Not by eating.
physical preparedness.
Well, I've also added omegas to my repertoire, and I have a high.
Say it. Say
I was going to say, you can't get to that state by eating peanut butter toast.
Watch me.
This man's just got a loaf in a jar everywhere he goes.
And a
I'm all
toaster
set.
Velcro to his back.
I'm all set.
Plug me in.
Solar powered though. Solar
Yeah,
powered
of course.
toaster.
Of
He's
course.
green.
But no, I'm kind of adding a couple more supplements in to help keep the inflammation down and stuff like that. But yeah, like even the up and down weather, I have been solid.
Are you
which is
eating
tits.
well?
Yes, I am eating much better.
Actually,
He
though,
put
Yeah, no, actually,
jam
I'm
on
much
his
better.
toast with peanut butter.
there's a fruit in there now.
Yeah.
No, like I'm pushing myself to I'll look at the bread and go, no, I'm not gonna fucking eat it. Forget it. I'm gonna actually
No,
eat.
I'm going to ask for
I'm
something on the menu and not toast and peanut butter.
Exactly.
He's at the cake. He's like,
Do you have
No,
bread? Yes. Do you have a
can I
toaster?
get-
Yes. Do you have peanut butter? I think you know where I'm going with this.
also, do you have a giant size of chocolate milk just to top that off in a
Fuck.
bib?
Oh my
Yeah, a bit.
god.
Oh, man.
That was okay. That was a
Sorry.
hard sidetrack, but very, very worth it.
Nostalgia never comes if you never leave it. You're always
Yeah, that's
there.
true. We're just enjoying it, living in the
Yeah.
moment, baby.
Anyways,
So, what nostalgia? Like, if you look into the history of it, it originally defines more like homesickness. It was observed in Swiss mercenaries serving on campaign away from home in the 17th century. And it was a med student. I've lost the guy's name, and I probably wouldn't be able to pronounce it reading it anyway, so don't worry about it. But
Swiss.
he observed that they were having like some pretty serious physical problems. They'd be laid up with fatigue, insomnia, indigestion, and like cardiac problems. So actually, like problems with their heart. So he named it at that point from the Greek, as everything is fucking named from the Greek, for nostos, Nostos, which is like pain or home, and what was the other one? Algos, which is like pain. So it's like the pain of not being at home, basically. And then over time, first it was viewed as like an affliction. Like they thought this is a thing that Swiss people have because that's where it was first observed in these Swiss mercenaries. Then it was observed in everyone. Then, getting into the 18th, 19th, 20th century, people became a lot more mobile, crossing out all over the world, especially going to North America and whatnot. And they were observing it in everyone. So, an Irishman, I don't know why I thought of an Irishman when I looked at you, Mickey.
But
He might leave Ireland, and even though he's in extreme poverty in Ireland and he goes to America, he's still fondly remembering things. So why is that? Well, if it's so detrimental, which is how it seemed first of all, why would we be fondly remembering these other times, right? It doesn't seem to add up. But they realize that it's not really that. There's a lot more to it, and the center of the brain that processes nostalgia. So it comes through the same place music does, which is why music is such a strong trigger of it.
Right.
Goes right where your emotions go, through your amygdala. So there's a ton of history of people looking into this and trying to narrow it down, but it's still ongoing today. We don't fully understand it, like why this feels good, why this feels bad, why even remembering stuff that felt bad can feel good now. Because that's great. Like, I think about times where I was like shitty in life, but it was like 10 years ago or whatever, and there's like kind of like a sweetness to it, even though it was so fucking terrible. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm distrustful of it, because I know empirically, like, that sucked. That sucked balls. Why am I like smiling right now? You know what I mean? So now we understand it a little bit better, and it's been associated with psychological well-being, increase in self-esteem, and social connection and altruism. So when people feel nostalgia, it can be a way of connecting to each other. Like you guys just did now over Pokemon, for example.
Right.
Which was not planned, audience.
we did have a moment.
You did have a
Sure.
moment.
I didn't even look at Mickey though after.
Oh, did you kiss him on the lips?
That's not for everyone to know.
Oh my God. But what I thought was very cool, because remember, I was coming at this from a fairly negative place, right? Just like, this is a stupid thing.
What else is new?
Oh, fuck off.
I'm glad we decided to stick with this topic. Fuck, this is dumb.
But nostalgic tendencies are usually like healing spaces or safe spaces. So I was trying to make sense of that when I read it. But then I thought about what I do when I'm really, really sad or really, really down, and I will like play video games on a daily basis. I don't really play video games anymore.
Right.
Love them, don't have time for it. And not even just necessarily something new or current. I'll go back and pull out my N64. And I never really gave it a second thought till now. Till I'm like, oh, so you go back to that time where everything was okay and like let yourself recoup, let the pain kind of drift away and calm and all this shit. I never would have thought of it like that, but it's a thing we do. It's even why we have certain behaviors for coping.
Okay.
That's actually connected to nostalgia, because it's the things you do when you feel good. So you go back there when you don't feel good.
Honestly, you're talking video games, nostalgia, feeling good. I went to Skyrim. The opening of Skyrim. And Nord's last thought should be of home. And then he's like, yeah, back home, and we're starting to feel better. Like, fucking doom's impending. I'm like, yeah, just like home. I feel better. Just, it's interesting how, like, it's just even in, they just throw it in there like that. But now that we can kind of analyze and go, fuck, that's just super interesting. Like, I wonder how many people were literally on the brink of death and they go, I'm going to think of home, and that'll put me at ease. That's a powerful thing.
That is a powerful thing. And I wasn't even thinking of it like that, bro. I was thinking of it like just playing Skyrim. I mean, how old is that fucking game? Is it 10 years old? I want to say it was like 2011.
Maybe. I don't know. I had to, like...
Anyway, it's been around a while, and like I still get happy talking about Skyrim,
Never played it.
Okay, you're cool. We know. Just fucking relax. But
I get it. I get that with Ocarina of Time, man.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Pulling the 64
Like,
out. You know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
play. I'm not a gamer at all. Like,
Right.
like or Halo. I get that, but then Halo, I just smell beer. A lot of beer. Halo was played.
It just makes the smell of beer occur in your nose.
No, like in my mind knows.
Oh, in your mind.
In my mind knows it makes it.
Even that actually makes sense based on
On the time
what I
and
read.
the setting, right?
Yeah. So you can actually and also because like smell and taste are the strongest triggers, right?
Yeah.
Of memory.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of thing. It
I
brings
can
you back.
actually when I think about playing Halo, I can feel the environment. I can feel the room. It's weird. Like when I have nostalgia like that, like I can picture the lighting. I can feel the vibe of the room.
Okay.
Like the air. Like when the air's thick or
Uh-huh.
bullshit
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I can
No, that's real.
I can feel the type of air that I was breathing.
Beer
I
and
can
farts.
taste the beer. I can see the game. I can see it all, man. Like it's like a perfect memory, I guess. But like even though I was playing it with a dude that I fucking hate. Like he's the worst person I've ever met. But at the time we were friends but just that feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird.
Now was the air thick because of like the competitive tension?
No, it wasn't actually thick. The air wasn't thick.
Oh, you're just
it was more
describing
like
that.
it was like a warm, comfy, fun
Yeah. Okay.
air.
Okay.
Like or like spontaneous air because we were gonna go out that night playing beer Halo, and even though I was like drinking ruined my life, and this person I was with I don't talk to anymore,
Yeah.
and I'm not even friend. It's still like a fond memory. And
Isn't that so weird?
It's weird, and I'm with you on the distrust. Like I don't trust it. That whole part.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, I do. It's weird.
Well, there's pardon my stutter. There is an explanation of it in Watchmen. Y'all seen Watchmen? We're familiar with this.
The movie or the show?
Is there a show?
Yeah, HBO has a show.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it got like canceled
Oh,
Okay.
for second season because the creator just I don't know. I didn't read the article, but it's
Oh,
canceled. Anyway,
okay.
go on.
Well, I'm talking about the movie, but the movie is very representative of the book, and it's Alan Moore, so it's like levels on levels on levels.
Right.
But one of the things that one of the characters says is like the older you get, the future becomes more and more unclear because it's less and less familiar, right? But looking back is crystal clear.
Yes,
Because it's done. It's happened. Like even though it might be bad, it is done, and you know how you came away from it. It's like reading a book that you already know the ending.
right.
There's comfort there. So yeah, like it fucks with you because you're like everything about this was terrible, but yeah, I know it's all right. It's all right.
I'm looking at our whiteboard, and I keep looking at that word, and it's just ringing real true to me right now.
Which one's that, buddy?
The depression word.
Oh.
Hearing about, honestly, just the way, because you're not hitting any points for me for like, oh, I remember this, or like nothing specific. It's just like the whole air of it, and it's just like, yeah, it's like a warm blanket, and I'm like, fuck, this is sad. Like just thinking about the old times.
Explain that for me.
So when you said, the future is unknown, but the past is clear, and for me, I dread the unknown. I am terrified of things I don't know. I hate it. I need to know as much as I can.
Fair.
So, but when you just kind of explain, that's kind of how nostalgia works and how it has that effect on the brain and all that other stuff. I'm just feeling that. I'm not even thinking of anything specific. I'm just feeling that, yep, that is true. The future is unknown. The past is crystal clear. I fucking miss that past. I want that past. I want my warm blanket again.
Right.
And it's kind of messing with me right now.
So, do y'all think this has anything to do? Because I'm the only one of us who actually listens to our old episodes. But remember last time we were talking about comfort zones? Do y'all think
Yes.
this has something to do with that?
I do. I also want to say something else.
Please.
No, you guys keep saying crystal clear, right?
Mm.
It's like your brain. I don't know. I didn't do as much research as you guys because, well, I just didn't. But I don't know. I just thought about this when you said it. It's like maybe your brain like crystallizes these positive memories from a shitty time. like subconsciously when you're experiencing things, maybe while it's processing in your brain in real time, your brain's picking apart the things that trigger happiness. So maybe it wasn't like the person I was with in the Halo example, right? Maybe I enjoyed the environment, like the coziness of my home at the time, and like what I was doing, and I was content at that time in my life, like compared to now financially, things like that.
So
right?
uncertain.
So you pull all those maybe more positive things that were there than negative things. So that memory now is crystallized in your mind as maybe your brain knows you need it to recover.
It's like your brain,
You know what I
playing
mean?
a trick on you.
Yeah, it's like playing it.
But a good
I'm
trick.
going to use this memory, and I'm going to keep this memory, and it's going to go into this like bank of like a nostalgic bank in your mind, and then when
Yeah.
you need to pull it out,
You withdraw.
you withdraw from those.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I don't know why I thought of that, but that's
Well,
what I
no,
just
that
thought of.
actually connects to something we're going to get to after.
cool.
But that's not the same thing, and that's very cool. That's very cool.
But what did you ask about? Sorry, I had to get that out before I forgot of it. You asked a question before I said that.
About comfort zones.
Yes, okay, the comfort zone. I thought about that too today, actually.
Tell me.
What did I think about? How do I put it into
The
words?
daily struggle.
It's hard to like translate my thoughts into words, especially when it's hours and I didn't write it down. I should have wrote it down. But yeah, like fear to leave your comfort zone, right? And as you get older, your comfort zone shrinks.
Do you think it shrinks?
I do. For the most part, when you're younger, you're forced to go to school. So automatically through school, you're going to be doing a ton of shit that you've never done before.
That's fair.
So your comfort zone is now being, it's gaining ground, and then high school and then university,
Because
and then
you're
a job.
forced to deal with these
forced to do
situations.
it. But then once you get a career and like you're solidified in a place and you have a daily routine and maybe you've been with someone for so long, you kind of form this bubble, and then the
Yep.
older you get, your comfort zone now shrinks because you're not doing so much, so many new things and forcing yourself to do anything really, unless you actually go and force yourself consciously to do it.
Would you then say that the shrinking of a comfort zone will then lead to the uncomfortableness?
I think it's like when something happens in the older you get, when something happens in your life, I think you pull from that nostalgic bank in your mind more, because more things make you uncomfortable. And if you want to remember that warm blanket, like you were saying, you're going to start thinking about, nostalgic things.
This is very interesting. I might have to write a poem. This is we're making like a good metaphor. But like so once you get control or maximal control of your life as a functional adult, right? Then you start like weeding out the shit. But some of the shit is what makes you more adaptable and allows your comfort zone to stay wider.
Yeah.
So now you shrink it down, and now your comfort zone's just your room.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So even though that's where you feel good and it's the only place you feel good, it's also choking you because it's shrinking, you know?
Yeah.
That's really
and-
good. Yeah, it's like this. I'll avoid this shit. I don't like this shit. How do I avoid that shit? Stay in my room. I don't like this shit. I'll avoid that shit. How do I do that? Stay in my room.
Stay in my room. Yeah.
For example, myself, and this is how I know like alcohol solves no problems. So I never was that sociable, and like I'd have to force myself, and the easiest way to force myself to be social was to drink at like a party or a get together or whatever, because I'd
Right.
loosen up and stop caring or would like feel a certain way or whatever. And then when I stopped drinking, I regressed into a lot of like hobbies and like myself in my own home, and like I don't go out much, but by doing so I've noticed that it has made me way less social than I used to be. Even on a daily basis, like I get more nervous, I guess, to talk to new people or interact with new people.
Well, I want to call you on that for a second because, again, I'm the only one who listens to our episodes.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how the adventure you did this past year made you a lot
well,
more
yeah.
open.
And I was going to say that is a perfect example of me reaching like, okay, my comfort zone's getting real small. I got to force myself consciously because I'm older now. I can see it. And I'm like, I have to force myself to do something that will just shoot it out again.
So this is we're kind of getting at the pebble at the core of what I dislike so much about nostalgia, why I distrust it. because like all good things, it can be overdone, and then
Sure.
it becomes a bad thing.
But by just stating that you know that, shouldn't you just trust it then? That's my whole problem.
What do you mean?
Because I know you can't trust it, but I don't shoo those feelings away because I know that they're doing something positive for me. Like, I'm aware that it's not a place to live, but I am also aware that it's okay to accept it when you need it.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, if you have that awareness,
Right.
But I think a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people haven't even looked up just what we have so far, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it.
Right.
Because I feel like with that knowledge, you can deal with it a lot better, and you can like the things you're nostalgic about without them becoming a prison.
Yeah, and that's a fine line. Actually, I would say, because I think I've built myself a prison with nostalgia. Actually, reading on this, I connected with this topic way more than I thought.
Yeah,
Personal level.
I did not think it was going to be this deep or this good, but like I got a lot from it.
Yeah, same. And it's just like, it kind of just made me second guess everything.
Okay, Mickey,
Like,
what do you got to say about it?
No, that's
I'm just thinking if you found anything through your research about it being an addiction problem. Because the way we're kind of talking about it, these sound like patterns of someone who is an addict. To the extreme levels of nostalgia. Well, maybe.
No, that never came up, but there was sort of a line that I drew between those things, and that's sort of what I meant with the social media and BuzzFeed and like and diving into that, and even like shit like vinyl collectors, like especially when they're our age. You're talking about like, oh, the sound was so warm. Oh, it was a better time when you could just sit around and listen. Like, okay, you collect vinyl, but do you just sit there and listen to it, or do you noodle on your phone, or
Right.
are you cleaning the house or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, you are not bound to just sit there with the headphones on because you got a 6-foot cable. It's not even the same thing.
No.
So I think that's sort of like a false nostalgia.
Sure.
And-
right.
I can attest that. My dad gave me his vinyl. He says, "Hey, here you go."
Yeah.
For one of my birthdays, he gave me that. His old player. I don't know what the fuck they're even called. Like how nostalgia I am.
Record player.
There's
A fucking record player?
well,
This thing that plays records.
isn't there,
What is
isn't
it
there another
called?
name for it?
A turntable?
That's it. That's what I was trying to think of. Not record player. But anyways,
I'm fucking leaving.
This is getting bad,
no,
bro.
But because when you say like people go, do you listen to it or you just noodle on your phone? When I would listen to it, I can go, okay, this is interesting, but there was obviously there's no nostalgia for me because I wasn't fucking there for that. But imagine listening to this podcast and hearing this the whole time. Now, if you turn up the volume, it's a little bit, you can't quite hear it because the music does kind of overpower it, but it's fucking there, man. For me, it was an experience. Like, this is neat. I kind of like this, and with just to kind of feel it. Yeah, I'll throw a record on once in a while just to go, this is neat. But when people go, I'm going to collect them because it's better. It's like, unless you're born in '65 or a little bit later, shut up.
Well, people were so the whole thing with vinyl, everybody says like it sounds warmer, and they've got all these like emotional they've got all these emotional words about the sound of the fucking thing, and to the point where people will buy new albums on vinyl. I'm like, that was recorded digitally, right? Like, you're full of shit. I don't know. The whole thing just it pisses me off. That's one of those things where I think like you're just a fucking hipster.
Well, it's like a false nostalgia.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like you weren't there, dude. You're just how I did. I was like, this is neat. This is how it used to sound like. Cool. Exactly. But and then because I before I sold them, I had some half decent speakers. When it got too loud, and the bass would hit, it would jump. I'm like, this is no fucking good. So you actually need like special.
Oh, like it would physically jump.
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
it would skip because like you need a special platform to kind of help. So we got to that point eventually. I'm going, this didn't happen immediately after the record player was made. So there was a long time where people were going, don't turn it up too loud. It won't work.
Yeah. It'll just stop randomly.
So it's just like
like-
even then, there was like, the sound was so much better. You couldn't even turn it up.
But then again, it's like, what kind of speakers did they have back then?
Well, they can like the ones that I had were
Like what? Anyway, it doesn't
15
matter.
years old.
Yeah,
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 fair
you're
enough,
going
fair
too
enough.
far down
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
No, that's a really good example. I mean, I think for the people with the true nostalgia with a record player,
Yeah.
I think it was more of a communal thing. Like if say we lived back then and we all got together on Fridays and listened to, a
Fuck
record
yeah.
and had some drinks or tea or whatever the fuck we're doing way back then when there
Smoking
was
weed,
no
let's be honest.
back then when there was no like internet or anything like that. I'm talking
Smoking weed.
yeah, we
Yeah.
would be doing that back then. You think so?
Yes.
I'm just curious if that's what you actually think we'd be doing.
Smoking weed back then and listening to records.
We'd probably be having sody paps.
Well, how long
Just
back are we
having-
talking?
having
I'm
a
thinking
nice
Oh
Coca-Cola.
yeah, no, I'm talking about way back.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking the 70s. I'm sorry.
No, but even I guess in the 70s, but I was thinking like when it first started coming out. But like there's probably like a social nostalgia.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it,
that
right?
makes sense.
Yeah,
That
but
makes
like
sense.
for people like our age who were around when the iPods came out and shit, I almost forgot the name of those. An iPod because I haven't said it in so long.
Even
That's
dude,
weird.
Even just CDs, like I
yeah, even CDs or
it's
tapes.
just a far superior
Yeah.
technology. Like,
See, though, I do have nostalgia with tapes.
do
Because I made tapes, but it was the making of the tapes, not like the sound or anything. It was like making the tape, the mixtape, or burning a CD, making a burnt CD.
holy fuck, dude! You know what you just jogged my memory.
Here
This
we go.
No, it's not.
no, they're not you. It's like it's happening.
Yeah, it kind of is, right? Well, and this is the whole communal aspect
Right.
of nostalgia that the psychologists are talking about. Like, it actually increases human bonding.
Yeah.
as we remember these things.
Because we can relate.
Because we
with
can relate to each
passion,
other.
Fond memories of the past.
Exactly.
Positive
exactly.
things.
But little fresh.
Little fresh.
When I was just a little one and I had my own, boombox, maybe.
Almost fresh. That's what we call little fresh. Almost fresh.
Yeah, it was almost fresh.
Sorry.
Damn it.
I was breezy.
Breezy. I was breezy.
So I had this little thing with, a tape player, and remember all tape players had like the stop, but right beside the stop you had the record.
Yeah.
And you had to push them both down, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I discovered that function very, very young. And I discovered that you can talk into your fucking radio. And I ruined a lot of my tapes doing that.
Oh,
no.
But, soon my mom got me blank tapes, whatever the fuck ever. I used to record radio shows.
No shit.
Oh my God.
I
that's
always do,
awesome.
like always by myself. Always, I get people over, and then I would wait. We'd be sitting around waiting, listening to 89X, waiting for a good song to come on, and then I would insert that song into my radio show, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all just like tape recorded shit.
Yeah.
So y'all, I have been doing this for like 25 years.
Yeah, man.
Truth
Like,
comes out.
dude, when
I was destined.
I had a camera when I was like, fuck, I don't even know how young, and a drum kit when I was like in grade. I must have been 8 when I had my first drum kit, right? Like real drums, and a camera. My dad bought me like an Intel Play camera with software, and we got an old Mac.
Oh shit.
And you can make your videos. So we made like Hollywood squares and stuff, right? Like, and we'd use like desks as prop. Like, we'd be like, today on Hollywood Squares, and like someone would come out from underneath the desk like it was a tunnel.
Amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
I lost all the videos, and my brother left the camera on a bench at my old high school because we were
Strikes
filming.
again.
Yeah, but I've been doing that shit, and you don't even think about it. You don't even think about how integrated it's been in your life.
You know what I don't think about very often? But how fucking creative I was as a kid. And apparently
Yeah.
so were you. Like, you take your whole world and you just like, yeah, I'm gonna do something. And you're always emulating something, but
Right? Yeah.
Andy and I, we got a web camera. That was our first kind of glimpse into recording anything.
Okay.
And we would record little videos with our action figures.
Oh, sweet.
Not stop motion.
Oh, jog my memory.
There is-
Sorry.
yeah, there we go.
But like we wouldn't do stop motion. Then our hands were fully there, and you could see us moving the
That's
guys
still
around.
awesome.
But like we would do video after video after video after video, and we'd just be pissing ourselves laughing. We were so proud to show mom and dad. Like look at this, like that's
Great.
something. Oh man,
Dude,
That's
okay,
cool.
we used to do,
miss
me and
that.
my buddy, we'd go on Paint, and we'd find a backdrop, and we would paint stick figures frame by frame. We would hand paint them fighting. So we would
Holy
one
fuck,
guy
dude.
would like run. So we'd draw mid run, and then we'd erase one of his legs and draw it like down a little bit
next
more,
one, yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
like take screenshots, and then we'd bring it into like Windows Movie Maker like 98.
Oh,
and
damn.
and I would insert all the photos,
Jesus Christ, dude.
all the screenshots, and then we would put like Mortal Kombat music over it that we would like rip from YouTube or whatever at the time. I think when it was probably like Kazaa Lite we downloaded it from,
Yeah,
because YouTube
buddy.
wasn't even there. And then we would put it. No, YouTube was a thing because we uploaded it to YouTube, and it was like Stick Wars, and it was just dudes like throwing daggers and stuff, and we made tons of these videos. Took hours.
Of
to
course
make.
it did.
Yeah.
But you
it was
didn't give a
so fun.
fuck. You were having
No.
so much fun making
Oh
it.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing, dude. Like,
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm enjoying like the joy of the nostalgia, but I'm just thinking, going, holy fuck,
That's the
that is awesome.
that's the juice of creativity
Yeah.
that like, oh man. I get it so rarely these days, but like when you really
man.
settle in the zone and that creativity is flowing like an ocean, you know? Oh,
Dude, I used to have a two deck tape recorder, 4-track tape recorder.
Let's go.
And I used to sit there with my acoustic guitar, and I would write songs with lyrics and sing them, and make all my own songs. Never showed anybody, except
was
I
her
think my
name?
dad. What do you mean?
The girl you were writing
Oh
all
no,
these
no,
songs for.
it was about like life. It wasn't girl songs. It was weird. It was like I was in like grade 9, and yeah, I made
like
a bunch of tapes. It was so weird, but this is all jogging memory of like.
That's
It's
crazy.
a little Neil Young here.
No, it was very nasally, and
Don't you think it's funny? Because I mean, obviously, I've always been a writer, but like you think about the things that you thought were wise and profound when you were that age.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, I was so deep. You know?
Here we go.
Fucking
What
moron.
the fuck? Oh my goodness.
Well, there's a trick in nostalgia, and it's a trick our memories play on us. It's called false memories.
yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard of this before. Probably.
We've talked about it before.
We've seen, yeah. We've seen studies where, you can basically trick people into remembering things that didn't happen. But people will actually do this to themselves in these kind of group bonding exercises. Like, let's say you and I were sitting here reminiscing over our creative pursuits, and Mickey actually just made that fucking thing up. But he actually remembered, like, maybe playing with some action
Right,
figures,
right.
and he's like, "Oh, maybe we did that too." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah,
The
yeah.
brain is wild. The brain is fucking.
Oh, the brain's
wild.
crazy.
Brain's a dick. Sometimes. making me remember false things that never happened.
And the dick is also a brain.
That's also that too.
Yes.
That's
Mind fucking. I'm sorry, I'm just going right out now. I'm
Mickey's
recognizing
fucking
I'm just
Mickey takes it off,
Off
the
the
rails.
rails.
Choo choo.
there's no rails, there's no train. It's just a whole fucking
Just a fucking-
catastrophe.
Just a bomb of Mickey.
a shipwreck.
fuck.
Yeah. So another thing that I discovered was kind of tying into these past experiences, but it has a lot to do with identity. Now, obviously, we are partly the sum of our experiences, so that makes kind of basic sense. So of course it's got to do with identity, but they found that when you are having these maybe you're anxious or maybe you're depressed or whatever, a lot of what your brain does to try and help you out looks a lot like nostalgia. So it's filling in these who's and whats and self-doubts and sadness and everything with what it can recall. And that's why you gotta watch false memories and shit like this, because your brain wants you to get better, right? So it'll just accept stories that are told. But by the opposite token, of course, you have your real memories, and so you'll remember, Mickey, like you played with action figures. I'll remember I used to be a gamer. So like you'll remember when you got your first drum set, shit like this, and like this really makes up who you are in the sense of identity. So it's a two-way street. You know what I mean?
Right.
You are nostalgic for the things that made you who you are, and the things that made you who you are give you nostalgia.
Right, because it's building your character.
Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
like in an
it's like-
RPG.
yeah, exactly. That's why life is a simulation.
There it is.
I knew it was coming.
But yeah, man, it's crazy, and yeah, it can definitely be a bad thing though. just thinking of all the different types, because there's got to be obviously more. There's well, from the little bit of reading I've done, I know there's personal, there's historical, and then there was another one that I can't remember. But like
Personal versus historical nostalgia?
yeah, like I think so from what I understand, historical is like wanting a certain time period to come back, right? Like, oh, the 60s were the best. I miss the 60s, or
Oh, we're going there.
yeah, that's historical nostalgia. Like, remember bikes on the lawn,
Yeah.
shit like that. And then there's personal nostalgia, like what we've all just talked about.
Yeah.
So this personal nostalgia, that's the one with all the positive benefits. That, makes you feel good, makes you connect with people.
Right. And then I read something that was like personal historical nostalgia.
Oh,
that's
shit.
what I'm gonna call it.
Oh,
So
shit.
it's like
It's going meta.
it's meta, man. That's like, for example, the rut I'm stuck in right now, and that's why this kind of was like, oh, this sounds like me, about thinking of when I had money, a steady job, a house, a car. When I had my life somewhat together, even though my life was shit, like it was not a good, healthy,
you were
emotional.
not happy.
No, but recalling those nights, like when I had all my shit done and I was in my own place and everything was paid for and I had no stress that way.
Right.
Even though stress was, like I'm still living in my head somewhat, like that's still real. Like I think about it. And then it discourages me from wanting to even start again because it was so much.
Oof.
Do you know what I mean? I had that was air
Right.
quotes because you don't fucking really own shit so much, and then I lost it all. I didn't lose it all, but I had to get rid of it, and now it's just like I knew how much it took, and I see the other X variables that like the market and stuff like that.
Of
and
course.
just the shit, and I'm just like, I don't even want to. I had it and I lost it, and that was my chance.
Now, do you think that a lot of that can be remedied by, like say, attitude of gratitude? If you were to focus more on the things that you like about your life now.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I don't know how to. I do know how to, and I am
Because you
thankful
got this fucking personal,
but it's like a tug
historic
of war.
bullshit
It's
going
kind
on.
of just like why I fucked up. It's kind of like a self worth thing.
Yeah.
And all that. Like it's just kind of a shit show. But at the same time, I'm very grateful for a lot of things in my life at the time. But I don't know how to like use it as motivation. Like use the fire that is in me.
Well, it's
You
interesting.
know what I mean?
It's interesting because
yeah.
we were talking earlier how we look back, like again, like the future's unknown, the past is crystal clear. But you said you look at the past and you see how fucking hard it was to get to that. So you know how hard it is to do it again, if not harder. So yeah, your nostalgia personal can be fully plotting against you
Oh yeah.
because you know how hard it is.
It's almost like a
Like,
tease. Like
that-
it's teasing you.
Like as soon as you said that, that just started ringing in my ear. I'm like, holy fuck.
That's like the bittersweet of it. Like I can remember those feelings, and I'll always have those memories. And it was cool because it was my first house, and my child was brought to me when I was in that house and shit, and so I have a lot of good memories. But it's also a tease because it's like, oh, you had it, and then you fucked up, and now you want it again, and you got to do double.
Holy fuck, man.
Yeah,
it's so it's like a fucking and then. I mean, I'm already jaded as fuck. If no one already knows that.
What?
Yeah,
You?
yeah.
Bitch, you slick?
I'm a little salty.
No.
I drink 2 liters of Haterade a day.
Oh my God.
minimum.
You go to
And,
the ocean with a straw. Just
Yeah, I'm just saying. What up? Who needs fresh water? Fuck that. And no, but like I'm already jaded, so that doesn't help. You know what I mean? And
Of
it's really
course.
hard just to shake all that shit. And just like some days you're just like, yeah, I peaked. I've already peaked.
no.
You're like, whatever, sign me up, Canadian Tire. I'm coming to stock those shelves. And I'm living in that really shitty 1-bedroom apartment
Yep.
because fuck it. And then other days you're like, no, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
But I want it consistently, and I don't know how to get it back. It's like my life has been a roller coaster. So I dangerously rely on some nostalgic things or nostalgic things,
Whatever.
whatever,
Potato.
however you say it, potato, potato, tomato, tomato, whatever. But also a lot of nostalgic things like trap me in my mind.
So you're dealing with the bad side of that in that sense.
Yeah.
And where it becomes a suffocating comfort zone.
Yeah, and I think lately I've been doing a decent job in getting myself out of that uncomfortable comfort zone. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, that suffocatingness. Yeah, I don't know.
So
hard.
you're fighting back against that trapping feeling.
Yeah, trying to. I mean, it's hard to like do things that will expand it without paying money that I don't have. You know what I mean?
Now,
Like it's weird. It's
okay,
a weird
so I got
thing.
I got a question about this, and I'm not even being a dick here, but like, what do you feel would, like, at a guess, what do you feel would be a beneficial way to expand that comfort zone, to basically get uncomfortable? What are you thinking that you need to do, that you need that money for? Because here's my thought. I think you can do some very uncomfortable things for completely free, like a lot of stuff.
You're right.
So, but
You're
what,
right.
what do you have in your head?
Well, first of all, dude, a job. I have to get steady income because obviously what I'm doing is not really working out right now. So I gotta put myself out there.
Right.
That hasn't been done for a little bit.
Right.
This is my first step. But I guess with the money thing, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I mean, you can do a ton of shit that's free that will make you uncomfortable. But
Yep.
I feel like it's more like I want to invest in my hobbies even more and take it to the next level that I can't necessarily reach right at this moment. But
Yeah.
I'm going to continue doing them with what I have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe I'll find a happy medium. Like I'll find a new way to do what I want to do with using what I have. I don't know.
Think about what we were saying about being a kid when you were just taking whatever was there.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it can happen. And maybe I'm just, maybe I'm making excuses, which I'm probably doing.
I always think of it as like the hip hop attitude. I don't know. I think I read DJ Premier saying something like that like 30 years ago. Hip hop is just doing as much as you can with whatever you've got. It's just,
the hustle,
The hustle.
right?
Yeah,
like you just got to make it work.
Yeah, like if you got, if you got a couple turntables and some old records or whatever, you gonna make some shit happen.
Sure.
Right.
All this talking about comfort zone. I hope we're not getting too off topic with the nostalgia, but something that kind of helped me jump forward was this. I'm showing you guys. Did I show you guys a diagram last time?
Yeah. Okay.
It's just bringing it up again for me. It's just like, yeah, it's just. I'm with you on that. The comfort zone is now uncomfortable. It's itchy. It hurts. I want out. And I'm looking for things constantly to go, I want to do it different. I want to be what I've always wanted to be, but I've always been kind of scaring myself. Because again, it's comfort, fear, growth.
To sort of stay relevant here, do you feel like there are comforting and nostalgic factors that are trapping you? And if so, what are they?
So if I have to really, really think about it quickly, it was the fear of trying. When I was a kid,
Whoa.
I always wanted to do everything, but I was terrified. I wanted to act. I wanted to sing. I wanted to dance. I wanted to be a performer.
You wanted to be in Cats.
I wanted to be the 3D Cats guy. But I always wanted that. I can remember walking to school and just singing songs to myself. Just songs I was making. I never fucking wrote anything down. Just like, oh, I'm singing a tune. And
So you were thinking, if you were a rich man.
essentially, yeah.
Perfect.
But those thoughts are now pushing me. I'm done being scared of things that I haven't even fucking tried. So like just recently, I've wrote a fucking poem. And I not only did I fucking write it, I put it out there for everyone to see. And that thinking about it now, I'm going, why wasn't I afraid of that? Because I'm fucking done being afraid of it. I'm done.
Yeah.
So did you notice that poem?
I
the other
did.
day?
I like that.
Yeah,
I was fucking like, because haiku is hard. Haiku is really hard because it's really it's super easy to do Just 575. That's essentially
Yeah, yeah.
That's haiku. But like to make it actually say anything, and then make it actually say anything well in an aesthetic way, like it's a very difficult format to nail down because you don't have much to work with. And this kid fucking never writes anything, just bangs out one of the best haikus I've ever read. I'm like, what the fuck was this?
Right?
Don't take this from me. This is all I have.
But I said that.
It was my thing.
But that's truly his. But I've been singing your praises too, though, bud, because I hold you in such high regard for that.
No.
No, I do.
I'm just dicking
No,
around.
for
man.
sure. But I do though, because you do it. You do the things that I always wanted to do. You write. You perform. You just do it. And you too. Like you were in a fucking
Gay porn.
band. Gay porn, man. My God, no.
Tons of that,
But
yeah.
like you were in a band. You record music. You guys both do all these creative things that I literally scared myself out of as a kid because of my anxieties.
Ooh.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't fucking do it. And now like I look back and go, I'm not that kid anymore. And I said to him before you got here, when we were doing the New Year's episode, you kept saying, New Year, new me.
Yeah.
That fucking is resonating in me.
Which is so fucked because we were picking on it the whole time and
Yeah.
it worked on
But
this
it's
guy.
working
I know.
on me. Like
It's amazing.
I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be me. I want to be the Mickey ad that I felt has always been inside.
Well, then that's what you should
you
do,
go, man.
man.
That's what I'm
You're the
doing.
fucking one who preaches, be happy with yourself.
Fucking happy with
Sorry,
yourself.
man.
You got
just
called,
do it.
son.
I'm going to call you out all the time.
Do it by all means. Like I
already do.
I
Yeah,
I
that's
almost
true.
don't even see it like as a challenge anymore. Like yeah, I'm already doing it. What else you got?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mickey's doing it, man. Mickey's living
fucking doing it.
life.
I love it. The new Mickey swagger
With the old Mickey hat.
The old Mickey hat.
and the old Mickey limp.
Old Mickey. No, Mickey Live's not here yet. I got
No,
old Mickey
no.
sweater.
Question for the people, completely unrelated to anything we're fucking talking about. What supplements are you taking that are making your joints feel better and your hip not hurt and you not limping?
Glutamine or L-glutamine. They're exactly the same thing. I get a lot of back and forth. Oh, is that the same? It is. And high dose EPA omega-3.
Boom.
That's all I'm taking.
Nice.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do it for your joints.
Do it for your
Do
joints.
it for the joints.
Be happy with yourself and your joints.
Hey.
Oh, God.
So
All right. So now we're getting into this aspect of nostalgia where we're getting to the thing that's really made me always hate it, which is the ways that it traps you. But not just the ways that it traps and restricts you, but the ways that it traps and restricts society. And this
Oh.
and I've realized as I've studied this, because like I said, I had a very poor outlook on it originally, but okay, now I've learned about these benefits. But a lot of those studies say like, oh, that's not the same as this, but I think it is.
okay.
Okay, scientists.
So when you talk about when you talk
I'm
about
kidding.
historical nostalgia and
Right.
and it's in a more broad sense, I think it's two sides of the same coin. So what I call is the good old days.
Good old days.
And I think that is the biggest load of fucking bullshit in the world. I think there's no such thing as the good old days.
Right? Why?
I got a lot of good old days shit coming up.
Because even as we were talking about, like I have, you have these fond memories and you can't really articulate why, you were struggling or whatever. Like, but wouldn't it be better to be better? Maybe it was a little on
Yeah,
the nose,
yeah,
but
yeah.
And I have these memories of this fucking house I used to live in that was always freezing in winter and always hot in the summer, and it was too small, and the kitchen was poorly equipped, and I lived there for way too fucking long, and but I think about it, and it's like kind of this warm feeling of living in that house. I'm like, that place sucked balls.
Yeah.
But you take that out to a broader space, and you've got like, people who are wishing for a time in society, a time in even technology or you name it. You pick your field, and people wish for a previous past time.
Music.
Music, yeah, sure. But music's it's like a stupid thing to wish for because it's like it's still there.
It's still
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the lifestyle that
Well,
was with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'll have a little bit of a different point on that because I think a lot of the nostalgia of the music from back in the day was what music was, what they thought it was about. It was like it's about the music. It wasn't about the money. You know what I mean? Because like today, like I see it all. I go,
Yeah.
like I don't care if you come out and say, yeah, I do love music, but I want to get paid. Cool, I respect that. You know what I mean? But if you go, music's about the message, man. Nice Rolls Royce. Yeah, man, it was a good message though, right? Eat a dick.
That's what happened though.
No, it's like, but
Every
But look at
No, you're right though, and it's just a change in the industry, and then also a change in publicity. Like musicians seem more like the everyman now because they come from different classes now. It's not like, we've got this very small group of people that blows up, gets a fuck ton of money, and then they're kind of like a different society.
Yeah.
No, now you've got like my favorite band is a bunch of guys who have, they've earned what they have and everything, but they're still very much a working band. Like they can't quit at any point, and then they got to go work at Canadian Tire or some bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, by the way, talking to bands and Canadians, RIP to Neil Peart to God,
My goodness.
Oh, yeah.
That sucks. That
I didn't
hit
even know
me
he was
hard.
sick. Didn't even know he was sick.
Yeah, he's sucks.
That was
Yeah.
fucking shitty.
Sucks balls. Anyway, but so it's a different thing than it used to be. But I was listening to. I'm a huge Sam Cooke fan, so I was listening to Sam Cooke today at work. And so many of the songs are just like, dancing with my baby and all this.
Oh my
other
God,
shit.
what's the other guy's name? Cook, the guy that's like
Dane Cook?
popular now.
Oh.
Isn't there another singer?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe.
I will look. You guys keep going.
Sam
thinking
Cooke's
of,
from
like-
like the 50s.
No, I know who said now. Maybe I was thinking of Ed Sheeran for a minute, and I was looking at you like, "Who the fuck are you?" I have no idea why I thought that, but anyway, go on.
Okay.
I know who Sam Cooke is.
Yeah. I mean, he's the god.
Yeah, he's
And
amazing.
He was
Absolutely
so amazing. But like, I'm thinking about these songs, and he was one of the first people to really step into the social justice field. Maybe I shouldn't phrase it like that. Civil rights field in his music, and things are always like very. We're used to Rage Against the Machine, where they're saying like "fuck the system, kill the president," whatever,
yeah.
and nothing's that explicit, but the message is still there, and it hadn't been done before like that. So,
Right.
so it's important. But most of the songs are just one or another kind of love song.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, every one of these songs ends in fucking. He's just talking about dancing with my baby. But I'm like, no. And then they're going to fuck.
Yeah.
Like, all of this is about fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Sam Cooke, you a nasty son of a
Of
bitch.
course, he was.
He did love the
I mean,
ladies.
good
though.
on him.
He did love the ladies, though. That was a big. You ever watch his biography on him, or did you read his biography? You know.
I mean, I've seen some things, but I mean, fuck it.
Just about when he was.
Mickey is 2020. We do not shame people for their kinks.
No, absolutely. But like he, like at his prime, there was always one or two girls under his arm, and he always had a fucking wad of cash. Just like, but like not like look how cool I am. It's more so let's have some fun, guys. It's on me. He's just like a super chill, awesome dude.
All right.
Lives for the experiences. He lives for the experience.
did.
I
He
feel like
definitely
Sam
did.
Cooke was probably happy with himself
I bet you he was.
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
that woman at the
Stupid
hotel shot him. But
Bitch. No, fuck, she
Yeah.
was straight up
But-
racist. Like, oh, he was hurting that girl. I don't think so.
yeah.
I don't think so.
Anyway.
Anyway, I am not today's topic.
Not today's topic.
Oh, no.
But yeah, so it's, you think back about music like that, and people are like, "Oh, it was simpler, it was sweeter, it wasn't all this like sex stuff." Yes, it was. It always was. It was all sex stuff.
It's not like we went from prehistorical man of nothing but breeding to keep the species alive. The 1910 to 1959 of peace, love, and God, and nobody was doing nothing.
Yeah.
And then it went into sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Y'all were fucking.
Yeah, but I think it's more with music. Music's a really weird one, eh? Like when you talk about this.
Well, it's
'cause-
very connected to development as well.
and I think it's more, at least from what I understand and the people I talk to, it was the quality. Because now you're like, yeah, it's an every man's kind of thing. The band, your favorite band, like you said, is a working band, and they've earned their spot and stuff. They're still good. They can play, right? But
Oh, yeah.
half the shit out there is not. Like people can't even, and you don't really need to be good anymore because there's so many like genres and so many people like different things. But back in the day when you were like, you had to be good to be noticed. before the internet. Do you know what I mean? You had to actually first and foremost be a good musician and put a good show on.
He's making a
Mostly.
bit of a, he's making a
Right.
point. Like you did have like your record bands. Like, hey, this guy, this song, this song, go. But then there was the people who struggled, who were there, who were doing the bar shows, who were chasing down these guys who put songs on the radio. It's like, play my fucking music. Like this is the real shit. Like yeah, but we'll get to it, sort of thing, right?
But my thing with that, and I know because we've talked about this before, so you know where I'm going. But like, go look at the charts from pick a year.
Right.
There's no Zeppelin on there.
That's
true. No,
the bands
yeah.
that have stood the test of time, and I know what you mean. Like they had the fucking chops, but like you go look at the number one on Billboard on any given year, like you may not even have heard of the person. So
Right.
this was always around.
But if you went to that person's show, guarantee you they were tight. Guarantee you they were good.
Okay.
At least.
Well, I can't say because I wasn't there.
Exactly. But from what I understand, that's, up until about the 90s, that was the case.
Up until the 90s, you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
So what? If I understand you correctly, I'm going to summarize here. I'm going to steel man your position. You are saying Eddie Vedder ruined music.
No.
Oh!
Close.
I thought I had it.
What's that guy's name?
Which
He's
one?
From the band.
Oh yeah.
For the guy from the
Kurt
band.
Cobain ruined music.
Oh yeah, Kurt Cobain very
Cobain.
well could have.
No, I don't know. No, it's when the internet is. I think not. It didn't ruin music. It made
changed
more
it.
music. It changed it.
It
Made more
changed it.
music possible,
Yeah.
realistically. But I'm just saying, back in the day, the quality outweighed the quantity of musicians.
Okay,
Right?
without having statistics in front of me, I will accept that.
Yeah. Like I ain't getting it. Anyway, that's like there's that. That's just music
That's just
alone.
one. That's just one.
Right.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah.
one way to look at nostalgia in music. That's crazy.
But what I think is poisonous. Like music, that's a novelty, and it's important to people, sure, but it's not really like it doesn't weigh heavy on how we operate government on a daily
No.
basis or how we work our jobs and shit. I mean, I know music is important. That's not what I'm saying. But like people now talk about like, oh, it was a simpler time, Oh, it was easier.
Right.
Life was better back then. And I think that's bullshit.
I don't know. I got some stuff here that says it was real fucking easy.
That says it wasn't?
Oh God.
All right, well, give me what you got, Mickey. So like, first of all, I know we were talking about like some specific categories. So what are those categories that you looked at?
So, well, I'll get that in just a sec because when we decided on nostalgia, the first thing I went to was like I wanted to see how things were then to now. That's the first thing that came to my mind, like the real data of then and now.
All
What's
right.
changed? Is it better? Is it worse?
All right.
So
Right.
I have medical crime, pollution. Obviously, we're all about that green.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
inflation. I left inflation for last because I found that one to be the most interesting.
Of course you do.
Of course I did. I know. I just keep
Yeah,
pushing for this
fucking
fucking
nerd.
economics episode.
We'll do it.
But
It's coming.
so I wasn't sure how I wanted to go. Do I want to go start today and go back, or start from then and come forward? But I decided to go then and forward, just to kind of see where, like,
Why
at
don't-
this point, this happened and things seem to be getting better in
Why
the medical field.
why don't we go from now and back since it's nostalgia?
Yeah, there you go.
Sure, we'll do that. Okay, so just the ones that kind of stuck out to me. 2014, they pretty much got stem cells for the pancreas almost down pat. Essentially, now they can not at this point. There are steps forward that when your pancreas is done, it's not producing insulin anymore.
Bro, we need a little bit of context before you go right to like pancreas surgery.
I was like, wait, shit.
What the
I'm like,
fuck are you talking
are we
about?
doing a medical episode? Because I fucked up this whole thing.
Okay, well then maybe I'll start the earlier times.
No, that's why I asked you to say like, okay, give like broad categories, and then we'll go into like some specifics. You can't just go to pancreas, dog.
Well, that's why I have specifics. Just
Oh,
like
yeah,
just
I guess you did say health.
not super specific. Like, let me tell you what exactly happened with it, but just like the leap forward in the medical field.
Okay, so this is related to health and medicine and
Yeah.
stuff, right? Okay, so that's the category. That
So
makes
health
sense.
and medicine. So you're specifically talking about things like maybe diabetes treatments.
Essentially,
sort of
yeah,
thing? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
in this case.
in this, yeah.
All right.
So this essentially for the 2014 stem cells for
Right.
the pancreas make it work correctly again. No more medicine for people who are diabetic or people who
Right.
have pancreatic fucking cancer, which is killing way too many fucking people these days.
Right.
It seems. 2 years before that, in 2012, tumor suppressor gene, kind of self-explanatory, and infection disease diagnostics, big step forward. So essentially, that one is they can determine what the disease is much earlier and find the treatments much faster.
And that was 2012 when
In
that
2012.
was.
So now,
possible?
nostalgia. Remember in 2012 when we were going, remember the good old days when, we didn't know what the fuck was wrong with us?
Okay.
Okay, no, but so, and then to 2000, this one I found actually, I thought you guys would really like.
Okay.
Brain abnormalities associated with abuse and neglect. That was in 2000, 20 fucking years ago, that they discovered that, holy shit, these not physical things physically affect the brain.
Right.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
Okay.
Well, and it's funny that you say that because a lot of this stuff, like, people still don't know. So, like, yeah, maybe they discovered this, and let's say in that year it was concretely proven. But like most people don't know that what goes on in your head can literally manifest in your body.
For sure,
Yeah.
but I think today more so because obviously I'm where I work, I do get a lot of it, and people are kind of really picking up on it. Yeah, sure, 20 years later, but better late than never. But
That's
people
not bad.
They're starting to understand that when you verbally hurt somebody, it does have the effect. Just like stress is the number one killer. That's been the saying for fucking years.
So you're saying that was kind of like a discovery that
Yes.
we've only just made fairly recent.
Yes.
Right.
So, everything up to that point, get over it. Maybe that's where we got that sack up, man up.
For sure.
You know
it
what I
was.
mean? Now it's like, well, maybe we should really look at that again.
I still say that to myself.
Big
I
jump.
don't.
I'm sorry. Big jump. 1952. First successful kidney transplant.
Wow.
So what did people with fucked up kidneys do before 1952?
That's what
Die.
and this is what I
Die.
found
Just
so
fucking
fucking
die.
interesting. Another kind of big jump, 1947, artificial kidney. So so that was probably when people that have kidney failure, so they can. What's the process when they pull all the toxins out of your body that your kidneys are supposed to do?
Dialysis.
Thank you.
Hold
yep.
the fuck on. So that was only 70 years ago that we had the first successful kidney transplant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because that's a common one.
Yeah.
Everybody does that
Yeah.
shit.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Damn.
And also,
You
in
just
the-
blew my mind, dog.
also in the same year, pediatric remissions of acute leukemia. So we've been working on leukemia for a long fucking time.
Well, yeah, because I think like cancer treatments were really only like the cocktail of chemicals that they use for chemo.
Yeah.
That only came from like the 20s and 30s, I think, right?
This one, I've known about this one for a long time, but when I first read about it, it actually brought me to tears because like how well they described these scenarios and situations. But 1922, insulin. Holy fuck!
Yeah.
So the biggest issue was they were mostly finding it in kids. For some reason, kids were diabetic like crazy for some reason, but there was literally their parents would drop their kids to the hospital, and that was pretty much it. They'd go into a coma and die.
Yep.
That was it.
Yeah. I read
but
about
then
that.
insulin.
So I read a book on banting because I had to do a project on a famous Canadian.
Sure.
This is in high school. But so I kind of know this story, but even that, like that book was very focused on banting personally and then the research, but I didn't know that that's how they treated the fucking people.
Yeah, but so essentially, you'd go into this when they finally found the fucking cure. They went into these rooms with these children, and these kids started waking up from their comas.
That's fucking
It's
amazing.
crazy. That's like magic.
It's beautiful. Like even now, I'm kind of like emotional just thinking about it. Like
You're always
a
kind of
room-
emotional.
That's true. But like a room full of kids, just their parents, pretty much
they're gonna
that
die,
maybe
yeah.
that day left going. I'm coming to pick up my kid tomorrow because he's gonna be fucking dead. No, never mind. Your kid's okay.
Do you
Like,
think any
amazing.
of those parents were like, son of a bitch, now I gotta feed the other one?
Most of them. probably.
And then I thought this one was, I'm surprised at how old it was. 1914, an electrocardiograph. No, the thing that,
EKG.
yeah,
Yeah,
the heart
yeah.
monitor. Boop, boop, boop. I'm like, okay, so, but looking at all this,
But what did they do when they didn't have crime dramas to show the electrocardiograph in? Because does it actually do anything, or does it just show when someone dies?
well, like, I'm not. I can't tell if you're being serious. Right
Of course, I'm not being
okay,
serious.
I'm just like There's a lot of reasons what they're good for, buddy. But
Jesus.
I know I don't get fucking.
Oh my
but again,
goodness.
this was from the Harvard Medical website. I have it right here. Timeline of Discovery. Amazing. This was just a snippet. There was so much happening. Like it started in 1799, smallpox.
So, do you have any figures on what were like primary causes of death before that, and like, or even how many people were succumbing to things that
I didn't
we
go
have discussed
too-
were discovered?
I didn't go too much into that. Just more so that these things happen. So pretty much. So when I say 1952, first successful kidney transplant, everything before that, if you had a kidney problem, well, I guess I get more post 1947, but you're fucked. Just like these little things. But then when people go, it was better then. It really fucking wasn't. Like
Yeah.
I said at the beginning of the episode, people go, "Oh yeah, hitchhike across the country and it was no big deal."
Yeah.
But you didn't die.
Because
A lot
those
of-
people didn't get on the news.
A lot of people did. They just disappeared.
I before you go on with these facts, I think it might be weird to say, but I think people just like times when there was less rules
No, I think you're absolutely
and,
right,
and
bro.
like less chance of being caught doing shitty things.
Yeah.
Or just people
Yeah.
caring. I can remember being told stories. People are out drinking and driving. Cops find you. They say, "Follow me home. I'm taking you home." You drove behind the cop home.
Yeah, dude, I happen to know that one of my grandpas used to just always had a roadie.
Yeah.
Literally always on the road had a roadie. And
shit,
well, I shouldn't say I know that for a certainty. Those are the stories that were told to me,
Sure.
right?
Fair.
I mean, obviously that's not the case anymore, but like,
No.
fuck, that's wild to
yeah,
think.
it's crazy, eh?
You know, now we don't even let someone. What is the age that you can have like a beer and drive?
It's 20. No.
21.
Is
I
it
think it is
21?
21 that you can actually have
21 and
alcohol
your
in your
G
system.
and your G license.
Yeah.
21 and your G. Yeah,
But
yeah.
dude, you used to be able to walk across the Ambassador Bridge.
That too. But
Well,
so-
that's a little different because that's going to come back. Not the ambassador, but
No, but like just eat like without you could just walk.
oh, like you didn't
Yeah,
need
there's
papers
not, like,
or
shit
yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
like-
right.
But even in our lifetime, though, you didn't need a passport to go next door. You could just go over there with
Yeah,
your
like
ID.
just
You know
the
what I mean?
border crossing in general.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
crazy old Uncle Sam, I think.
Well,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
too.
Yeah, a little bit.
So essentially, obviously, like I wasn't surprised at the Marvels. I was just surprised at when and the times when people said things were better here, whether they thought medically or not. But it's like you're really missing some important parts that obviously didn't affect you. Obviously, maybe someone in your life didn't have cancer, didn't have kidney failure, didn't need to be hooked up to an EKG.
Yeah, because they're thinking
To be on a
of,
crime drama.
They're thinking of their life
Yeah.
and positive things like, oh, I remember we get wasted and we were in high school and we drive that Camaro around and like there was no traffic out there and no cops and it was great and I just sneak in my window at 2 in the morning, no internet.
You know what
Good
I
days.
think about?
Yeah.
I think about vaccines because obviously with the anti-vax movement, we've got these like weird pockets of formerly wiped out diseases popping up and
Yeah.
everything. And you know, people get nostalgic for a time, and it's like, what do you want before vaccines? Because
Yeah.
That's a bad time.
that shit ain't working out.
It's not doing too well. Let's be honest. We mentioned
it's
cops
weird.
a couple of times, which is nice because the next one I looked up was crime.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I did a lot of looking around, but I found Pew Research again was just kind of it had it all in a nice little bow for me. But really had a lot of time getting stats much further back than the 80s. Apparently they didn't. It just it fucking sucked. Is essentially the consensus. But what I found was nice actually is crime is actually on the decline and has been.
Yeah, crime has been on the decline literally our entire lives. So when people say like, "Oh, it's so bad anymore," it's like, no, you're wrong.
From 93 to 18,
Is it
2018.
can I just interject?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it blue collar crime or white collar crime?
It is violent crimes.
Violent.
Violent crime.
Blue
Okay,
collar.
fair enough.
I'm
fair
looking,
enough.
I'm looking at like the stuff that really super affects people.
Blue collar, hands on, murder.
Yeah.
Honestly,
like that.
I feel like white collar crime is probably
At
doing far worse things to society and causing violent crime.
True.
But hey,
Yeah,
what the
that's
fuck
why
do
I
I know?
ask. And it's
No,
probably
you're
at an
right.
all time high right now.
Guaranteed. 100% guaranteed.
Anyway,
Probably.
go on.
But from 1993 to 2018, violent crimes have fallen 51%.
God damn.
Wow.
Now, and that's including, and I unfortunately I don't have the graph in front of me to show you guys, but there was huge spikes in 2004 to 2006, and again in 2014 to 2016.
Really?
But even regardless of those, 51% still on the decline. Like
Right,
that's
and it's a
fucking
simple-
Half. Wow.
And to touch on that, it's like, is it more people being caught, or is it more crimes being added, like, to the definition of what is considered a crime?
Well, it was violent.
You know what I mean?
They said violent.
No, I
so-
know, but like, you know, like certain things used to be not legal, not illegal, but now it's
Sure.
like highly illegal.
Well, that's what I
domestic
mean.
violence,
Like they didn't give me much to go with, like 1993. Like
right?
that's
Okay,
it.
so
So that's what I mean. So
I'm
like,
just curious of like
No.
because you could define something and then start, you know, it would go into the
Yeah,
data
you start
and-
adding it
yeah.
to it. Yeah.
Which is still good because you're defining more things that
Absolutely.
should be.
Yeah.
yeah. So
it's positive any way
yeah,
we look at
exactly.
it.
I was just curious.
Yeah. Fair enough.
The next one was property crime, which I found it interesting that they had a whole separate thing for property crime, but you know, like vandalism. B&E was in there, just not,
okay.
as long as no one was
Right.
in the home and they beat the shit out of it and or killed them, because
Okay.
again that falls into the violent crimes. It's on the decline, but only declining from the 80s and 90s.
What do you mean?
So it was the lowest in the 60s, and from the 60s on, it started to spike like dramatically, and it stayed high in the 80s through the 90s, and now is again on the decline. I was like, that is fucking weird. Well,
Poverty, dude.
Yeah.
poverty for sure, but and
Yeah.
also nicer things to steal.
It's when the separation from the
Wealth
the-
gap.
Yeah. It's all there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it all ties in. But go on.
Also, they looked at it globally. It wasn't just North America. Like
Good.
most of North America and a big chunk of Europe, yeah, it's generally on the decline. Like everything is going down for crime.
Except war crimes. Said except war crimes.
Yo, I'm reading a book right now on this dude, and he was in Korea. And you want to talk about war crimes? Like the thing that he's the shit that they did as a matter of policy. Like I'm not even talking about the dark stories that happened when no one was looking, but like the ways that they actually operated, it's just like one big war crime now. Like to someone with the mind who
Right.
lives in 2020, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh.
And it's crazy too because the dude who wrote the book, he eventually became like a I don't know if he was ever a pacifist, but like he was a campaigner, like anti-war, anti-nuke, all this other shit and everything. So it's like it's fucked because he knows it, but it's just how they operated. You know,
Yeah.
you just brutal shit. It's,
Well, it's like we keep forgetting that Hiroshima and Nagasaki were war crimes. That was civilian populations.
Yeah.
But it was essential to the war effort.
I don't know.
I know, like we look at it and go, did it change the face? Like was that the turning point of the war, and that's why the Allies won? Probably, and it is said through our history books that yes, but it's like you fucking broke a huge law. That was a big no-no.
I don't think that was written. Was it written in there?
Well,
Well, you're not supposed to
Like
attack.
nuclear weapons didn't exist.
No, but you're not
until
supposed to
then.
attack an unarmed civilian population. Like you just
Yeah,
don't-
but did that like agreement? Was that in like signed?
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I
the,
literally don't know. Like a UN thing. I have no idea.
the oh for fuck's
did the
sake.
Geneva Convention
Geneva Convention,
exist
thank-
at that point, Mickey?
Yeah, remember when we did our pick somebody that we think was a big deal?
Right.
Yes.
He that was Napoleonic times. It was first put into play. Like, hey, we started doing this, and I think it was pre World War One, World War II, maybe after World War One, but it was put into play. The Geneva Convention was a thing.
Did not know that.
Like, so when
Obviously, you didn't do a very good job educating
That
us.
was the Red Cross guy, right?
yeah, the Red Cross,
Yeah,
same
I
guy.
remember that now.
But like when the Blitzkrieg happened in London,
Or you could just go back in time and listen to our episode.
or we can do that. But anyways,
No, anyway.
Yeah, no, you're right.
go on. You got
Well,
a lot of facts. Go on.
yeah. So like
Yes.
I'm just I'm
just shooting the
repeating
shit.
myself, but just saying different things. now.
1949. You're wrong.
Fuck me, right? Well, then I feel like a fucking idiot. I could have.
Wow, dude, I gotta delete that whole thing.
Thanks for wasting 5 minutes.
No, but
Mickey
I
takes
just,
it off the rails.
so
You literally you got some false memories
I
going
got
on, my
some
dude.
really
Wow.
bad false. How about that? No, we're leaving this in here because seriously, like, there
Yeah.
you go, everybody.
Proof.
That's interesting, though. Hey, we just bonded a bunch of people. Let's make sure that doesn't happen to us. Everybody sign this real quick.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the next one was pollution, and this you guys might find interesting if you haven't delved into this much. Most of the issues we're seeing today are from long-term effects of the pollution.
So this is sort of what I've heard before. Tell me if I'm on the right track. We are currently dealing with the effects of like pollution from the 80s. Okay. So
Yeah, that's
what you're
exactly
Yeah.
it. So, and then they kind of broke it down into sections: indoor, outdoor, and plastic pollution, which I thought that'd be part of outdoor. And by the way, this is from ourworldindata.org.
Oh, dude, no. Plastic pollution is a different beast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
so
fucked.
so
It's that's scary.
so this is where I kind of find it interesting because we kind of go back like. Was it good? Was it bad? Were the good times good? Were the good times bad? So global indoor air pollution, which apparently was a real fucking problem, is down by over 1 million deaths since 1990. Apparently, people were dying a lot in their homes from
wow.
indoor pollution. Who'd have fucking thought, right?
What the fuck?
I've never.
Yeah.
I thought you just made that up.
No, I was like, "What the fuck, indoor?" Like I've kind of heard of it, like
It's
from
like-
like your a laundry detergent and shit like that. It's not good for you.
Right.
That's like when I used to eat cheese, like indoor air pollution.
So just
right?
better ventilation.
That's a whole different. That's I think you're dealing with radioactivity there.
Oh god.
Global outdoor air pollution deaths on the decline, but just not the best since 1990. So, per 100,000 people, due to just very specifically air pollution, it's 43 people per 100,000 in 1990, and today it's only 38 per 100,000. Not good,
Yeah, not a big gap.
but
there,
it's again, it's better. It's obviously better. So
Yeah.
great. Plastic pollution, getting better, but nowhere near fast enough. This was interesting. In 1980, almost all, it was like 99.9999% of plastic was discarded. Today, as of 2015, still not very fucking good. 19.5% recycled, 25.5% incinerated, and 55% discarded. I'm looking at these numbers. It doesn't sound right, but mathematically fucking off.
Well, I mean, it's better.
It's
It's a lot
It's
better.
there.
Like by number, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
But the thing was, fuck me, I didn't write it down. But essentially, there was like zero plastic issues up until like essentially when plastic was invented. And it's funny because I've been talking to a lot of no shit. No shit.
man.
But,
Holy
like,
fuck! My mind is
but-
just blown.
but here was interesting. This is the interesting part. This is part that
Before
actually
there was plastic, there wasn't any plastic, man.
the interesting part is why they pushed it so fucking hard back in the day
Are you still listening to this guy? I don't even know.
yeah, I am. I want to know why they pushed
All right,
it
why'd
hard.
they push it?
to save the trees.
No shit.
I'm not fucking kidding. Because I've been getting since nostalgia, my research, and particularly when I get elderly people come in my store, we kind of shoot. Obviously, you know me, shooting the shit, and I always try and bring it up like, oh, plastic, what's going on with that? And they're like, when we were pushing it forward because paper bags of plastic, we were doing it to save the trees. I'm like, holy fucking shit.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Does this not sound like a scam perpetuated by oil companies?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, you know what I
It's
would have
dripping
said?
with oil.
You know what I said back then?
What?
You know what saves the trees? Planting more.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh no, we cut all these things down that we could have planted lots more of.
Quick,
Let's make
refine some
plastic.
oil.
Yeah,
Let's make
really.
some shit that doesn't. Oh man, I can't even think of the fucking words because it's, just so
like,
dumb.
Like even all of these like
Oh.
facts aside, like humanity is fucking stupid.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Like what a dumb way to deal
this
with
shit
something.
won't break down for like a million years. Let's just like put it out there and then we'll have them just toss it. It's cool.
It's cool. It'd be fun.
It's like every restaurant that still uses styrofoam. Like just die.
Or any
Oh, it's
company.
crazy.
yeah,
Or,
for
like
real.
packaging and shit. Like anyway, sorry, Mickey.
So, no, it's okay. And then the last one was it pretty much everything we think about the past.
Great. Here's
and
where I get
a lot of
depressed.
us kind of understand this too, but inflation. It's only gotten worse, and we know this. This
Okay,
is
so
not
so we're
fucking new.
talking about essentially economics right now.
economics and like the value of a dollar and how much you could buy.
So the biggest thing.
the biggest thing.
The value of a dollar and how much it could buy. So we're
like
going to
the
keep that in mind.
Buying power.
Okay. Okay.
So essentially, I like this one for fuck's sakes. Finally, I can get the beginning of the century, 1990.
Okay.
$1 in 1990 has the equivalent of today dollar to 2020, $30.62.
You just said the beginning of the century.
I know. I know
1990.
that the 90s century.
Okay.
I forgot. It's just like
1990 or 1890.
1990. The fact
Okay.
that we're in 2020 right now is still fucking with my head. So in 1990, $1 was equivalent to 2020 30.62. So $1 had
Fuck.
that big of a buying power, which and percentage wise is
Yo, that's wild.
That's insane.
2,962% inflation at a rate of on average 2.8% per year increase. That's fucked, eh?
That's in our lifetime.
So purchasing power, very scary. So very much so. And it's like, oh, back in the good old days, you ain't fucking wrong.
And that's just if you got $1 in your pocket and you walk into a store. That's not talking about anything on a large scale.
Exactly. So
Fuck.
speaking of large scale,
Speaking of it,
Great.
so I have just like the four main things I think that are like the most important that we all have to deal with on the daily: food and beverage. So what they did was they took how much they bought, how much the average person spent, and then again the dollar value and the equivalence of how we spend today. So there's a whole lot of mess going on. So that's why these values are going to be a bit different. So when I said $1 back then was $30.92 today. So food and beverage, $1 spent on food and beverage in 1900 is the equivalent of spending $100.40 today.
Wow.
That is 9,940% increase.
That's insane, man.
Housing. $1 in 1900 going towards housing is surprisingly not as high as I thought it was going to be, but still high. $144.49, which is a percentage increase of 14,349. This one kind of made sense to me. Apparel, $1 on apparel is only $11.06 today. Right? It's like the more you think about it, you go, okay. Because you're not thinking like, you're going to buy the big name brands, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it balances itself out, right? Like with Old Navy $5 T-shirts, and then Billabong's $80.
You know what I mean? Because I can remember my dad
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
getting $10 jeans when he was 10, so like the 70s.
Right.
Okay.
okay.
I can stomach. 1,006%. 1,006%.
Still a lot.
The big one. What do you think the big one's going to be? Just
I have no
I
idea.
thought the big one was housing.
That's what I thought it
That's
was
what I
gonna be.
thought too. Medical.
Oh.
Oh, this is gonna be fucking
Now-
Oh,
gross.
this is going to be fucking
Now,
terrible.
advances in technology, stuff like that, and understanding that maybe we shouldn't reuse these things.
Where are these stats from?
This is the worst. I didn't fucking write it down, but I
No, Mickey, not the fucking source. Nobody
Oh, I'm
cares
sorry.
about that. We can put that in the notes if we need to. Like where? Like the States? Because we know for a fact that the States pays a lot more for the exact same shit, and it's strictly because of their fucking system. So where do these stats
This is
govern?
North America. This is Canada and the United States. So,
Okay.
but even
Yeah,
still
fuck
though,
Mexico.
because
Forget
well,
Mexico.
because the thing is like, the thing is like
This is like the Asia thing.
Yeah, I know this.
no, it
Gotta give him a
least-
fucking globe, man.
it said North America. I'm sure Mexico was in there, but the thing is,
Yeah, I'm sure they were.
the thing is, the medical equipment that we all use is used everywhere else. It's just how it's funded elsewhere.
Okay, all right.
It's privatized state, but the thing is, like, they're still paying it. People are just paying more out of pocket.
I want to hear
Anyways,
this. Just get to the stats.
One medical dollar in 1900 is in 2020 $405.64, which is an increase of 40,464%.
Oh my god.
Okay, but like in 1900, like
there's a lot
What
of
did they
factors.
have? Leeches?
There's a lot of factors.
What was the extent of technology at the time?
That's what I mean, though, because like I said, maybe we shouldn't reuse this scalpel. Why? People are getting sick. Maybe we shouldn't reuse these needles. Same thing. That's a big part of it. I get it, but still, for fuck's sakes,
Right.
like
And
it's,
think about those stats and $14 an hour minimum wage.
Yeah, but part of this though is it's not just because these things are more advanced, stuff like that. It's what they make people pay. Like there's a thing that a friend of mine showed me was why medicine is so expensive, because you could literally get all this shit, because they get this shit from China. Full disclosure, this shit all comes from China. All these chemicals and these ingredients come from China.
Okay.
They have medical expos in China. You can go there and they will give you free samples of this shit that people can't afford in America.
Yeah.
This gentleman who did this was given these 2 packets of whatever the fuck. I don't know what the hell it's for, but he was holding $3 million in his hand.
Wow.
How much they're going to charge people in the States, so then he talked to the people one of the big medical companies that keeps putting out all this shit that's essentially killing us, and he's like, oh yeah, part of the cost is the need. Fully said that to this gentleman. I'm like, are you fucking nuts? There's no supply and demand issue, because the supply is almost infinite. The way they're fucking making it in China.
No, that's what need is, demand.
But the supply is there. There's no issue. Like the supply equals the demand. If not, the supply is way more than the demand. There's so much of it.
Oh, I see.
It's to make money.
Again, those 2 little things. It was just like those crackers you get, like the single packet crackers with 2 crackers in it. It was about that size. He had 2 of those. $3 million worth of fucking medication.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. I mean, an inhaler costs like $350 in America.
But it's
Think
literally
about that.
It's pennies of what they're paying for these ingredients.
No, I know, and that's the capitalistic healthcare, but that America has.
But the fact
Well, I
that
feel like that it's also got to do with the average person's ignorance about medicine. You don't fucking care. Like, you're sick, you got a condition,
Sure.
you just want to do anything.
yeah,
And
I don't want to die.
there's so much to it. Like, doctors have to go through so much schooling. And to that extent, I think that medical dollar needing to get stretched a little more makes sense, because we've learned a lot more, right? And so you're paying for everything the doctor has learned. And I'm not saying this is all right, but it's sort of logical in a way.
It makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, fuck me.
Yeah. But I mean, $3 million. I got nothing for that. That's just fucked up.
It's yeah.
So we're kind of contradicting ourselves with this whole thing, as far as it being, better now with the medical dollar.
Well, but we did point out medical advances have very much reflected that. That's a big part of it that we have to really understand. We can't go like, this is fully corporate America's fault. Things get expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's true, but it's
a low-end MRI machine is $3 million. Because again, those things are spinning at whatever fucking RPM. You need helium to cool it, which is a non-renewable resource. That's expensive right there. There's a lot going on, so I get it. But it's just like, it seems like they've done nothing to try to keep it from happening to where it did. It's like, hey, we just charge them more. Why? Because it's health.
well, no, it's not.
You know what I mean?
And it's also, I mean, billion-dollar companies don't pay taxes.
No, that's true.
You go to false wars in another country that cost trillions of dollars. So I mean, like, you can do it. You can have Medicare for all
but
and
that-
free shit,
but
and
that's
no one's
what-
got to pay nothing.
That's what I mean. Like, I
And it's
respect
cheaper.
Yeah, and it's cheaper
Like,
than all that.
I will respect the fact that the medical advances could sway the price, but the fact that it seems like they've done nothing to try and
Yeah, because
to stop it from growing so much. It's just
on the
kinda like-
people.
on
The money
that's what I mean.
has to come from somewhere.
They
so
just-
it's coming from the people stuff.
They literally
But-
just let inflation go rampant on that.
But the point that's important to consider, and I know the dollars are obviously significant because people die without them, and that's really, really, really fucked up.
Yeah.
But the technology is there to save those lives,
Yes.
and it wasn't before.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all we're talking about as far as.
And inflation's a weird thing in itself because it's based on how much your country is valued with resources. I mean, it used to be silver and gold, and that's why money, the coin was gold, and now it's oil, and
Now it's opinion.
now it's opinion. I don't even know what it is, but once it's no longer resource based, like when space mining is a thing, because that's gonna happen. Dude, you don't think that's read up on this shit? They're sending crafts to asteroids to see if they have to mine for rare minerals and shit.
I'm sure space mining will be a thing, but I don't think that the resources we have now will ever not be valuable. Water.
Oh no, you're right. They're gonna be valuable, but it's gonna be like how space valuable they are. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be how space.
Like how many
like that.
spacecrafts does your country have? Not how much, how many like giant water spacecrafts containers they got that they're sucking water from Mars. After they talk to the Martians.
Yeah, after we talk to them, of
Yeah.
course.
Well,
my God.
When Nestle flies up there and starts bottling water.
after we forcefully recommend they move off the land.
Yeah.
Yo, do y'all think that we're gonna take
The good old days.
plastic? Yeah, we're gonna take the good old days. We're gonna take plastic and just fucking shoot it out into space, or is
Yes.
that always gonna be too expensive to do?
They're probably going to do that, and it's still probably not a good thing.
See, I think that the next step is proper reusing of the stuff. They have the technology now. I've talked about Berlin many times about their garbage recycling programs. It'd be a waste of resource to just chuck it into space.
I
No,
completely
no.
agree, but
This
I
is
also
what
think
you
we
do.
need to just stop.
This is what you fucking
Well,
do.
no,
Oh, what do we do?
Use SpaceX reusable rockets. And
Yep.
You fly a bitch up there.
Let's go.
In a big dome thing, right? Like with a bunch of garbage, a bunch of plastic.
Big
You
dome.
You do
Okay.
a ton of these, right?
Yep,
And
got
you
it.
send it. You send her. Those rockets come
Full
down.
send.
And that thing's just sending. When it hits a certain destination, it's
She gone.
very far away from any planet. She gone. She gone. She's in dark space.
Then what happens?
Then it burns it on the inside. It incinerates it, and then it self-destructs itself.
So you're suggesting we basically do like a soccer kick of all our
Yes.
plastic waste?
And then burn it into ash. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you burn, plastic in our jar of an atmosphere on the Earth, it sucks because there's vapors and bad things. But if you fucking send it way out into space and you burn it, and then you send the craft back or whatever to pick up more plastic to burn, you're not getting any of those vapors trapped in your atmosphere. They're all in space. And now it's all ash.
Well, we're
That's
gonna-
way easier to break down on a natural surface.
We're gonna need space air to burn it first of all.
That's why I just said you burn it on the inside, Mickey.
Why don't you send it to the sun?
In the fucking that was another thing they were thought of doing. But then you're risking hitting a fucking star with a bunch of shit that you don't really probably want to hit a star with.
Yeah, what if it like fucked up all the neutrinos
yeah,
and
like,
they
dude,
started
who-
coming
well,
back
fucking
at
no,
The
us?
thing is, though, it burns before it even gets there. It's disintegrated into nothing before it
Yeah,
gets there.
Well,
you're
yes,
probably
of
right.
course, but,
then
like,
it's
can
still
you
in
imagine?
I'll imagine
scary
that. Even
thought.
like the disintegrate, the little particles that were disintegrated, like fuck the neutrinos up, and the star just flattens.
What if plastic is like the worst thing for the universe?
Maybe it is. Maybe my idea is the worst idea ever. Anyway, you burn it in space. That's the fucking. I honestly think that's the only way to get rid of this shit, or recycle the fuck out of everything. But that ain't ever gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, based on this, you're fucking right.
Watch.
It's not
5 years
going
from now, Elon Musk will have a solution, but just sending it and burning it.
Dude, we need to take good care of that man.
there. Oh God, do
Yeah,
we?
You
Ever?
know what I mean?
Isn't that in the good old days? Chrysler and Ford and all
They took
those
good care of us.
GM.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck the. Yeah,
Guess
no,
what?
Mickey, you just made the best fucking point yet. They did not take any fucking care of us. When
No,
it came
they
time,
killed
they
all of
covered
us.
their asses.
Yep.
And they left everybody to drown.
Yep.
Fuck those guys.
And now an electric car company is America's most valuable car company.
yeah,
ever.
worth
Yeah.
more than
Ford
and GM combined.
Yes.
Yeah, good. It looks fucking good on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking sons of
The
bitches.
good old days, though.
Yeah, good old days.
Pensions
No,
are
that's-
nice.
Well, and it's weird to think that, someone remembering back then when they had their $30 an hour line job, fuck you, that this was always coming. Because
Yeah,
we can
right.
see that with hindsight.
Right.
So, maybe they remember it differently having been there, having been in a good situation. But, like, Like, what did you think was going to happen? It just means you were wrong.
We can only see it in hindsight as they saw it from the future because we don't have a future. There's nothing to see.
Oh, no.
Remember when that sucked? Yep. Oh, 20 minutes left. Cool.
All right. So we know that this historical nostalgia is pretty deceiving. We can trick ourselves. We know why it's good to feel that personal nostalgia. We know how it can increase bonding, can make you feel good, can even heal you, just to pleasantly reminisce, that sort of thing. But real quick, what are you guys nostalgic about? Like on a daily basis. Like, it's like we talked a lot about your personal headspace and everything, but like what's something that just feels like just a nice memory for you?
Being active.
Really?
Oh yeah, and that, you know, like playing. I used to play b-ball, volleyball. I had a ghetto ass.
Tell me
volleyball
about your
net.
vertical.
It was 32 inches. No, for real though. Like, and just working out, going for a run, being capable to do those things. And now it's kind of like the house thing again and all that. It's like, I don't want to fucking start that. I remember how easy it was because I was already, you know, I developed a life doing it. I didn't smoke. I didn't party. I was always working out, playing sports. And now it's like, oh man, it's going to be rough.
I'm just saying, like, maybe that first month or two is going to be rough, but you're going to save money because you're going to be smoking less or not at all.
Oh, no, you're right, 100%.
And you can run for
happening.
free, and you got my gym for free. I'm just saying. I'm just fucking saying.
He's just saying.
All right.
I don't know if y'all noticed. I was just saying.
Mickey, did you hear that Fresh was just saying?
What was he just saying?
Some stuff.
Okay.
He was just saying that.
I do know. I heard he was just saying, though.
and...
That's new.
Like
sorry,
Goku.
Mickey, I just started ignoring you there.
No, it's all good.
And did you say Goku?
Yeah, I'm
Watching
just
Dragon
I'm,
Ball Z, baby.
I'm just saying.
Nostalgia.
Oh, my goodness. So that actually saying that, my favorites was the youth and excitement of the firsts for, like, Pokemon.
Right.
Dragon Ball Z. All that
Blowjob.
shit. I remember particularly Dragon Ball Z just going, hey, why is it starting at 8 o'clock? I have to go to fucking school. And I faked sick to watch the first episode of fucking Dragon Ball Z.
Wow.
And that was exciting.
Nice.
I remember a bunch of shitty cartoons that like probably don't hold up, like Mummies Alive and
Mummies Alive.
Street Sharks.
Street Sharks, that definitely holds up, man. Dude, they were jacked, bro. That's why you wanted to be a powerlifter.
Yeah, it's
Street Sharks.
I like sharks. Clearly,
You do.
I
Yeah,
like sharks
see?
and being
You didn't
jacked.
even know.
I like sharks and being jacked.
Motherfucker. No, and being in a band for me,
Yeah,
playing music.
no doubt.
which
That-
hopefully will come back
that
actually sooner
creativity.
than later. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Mickey?
Oh, it's my
We already
the
said
the
it.
excited firsts.
Oh, just the excited.
Pokemon
Okay,
and
okay.
DBZ.
Yeah.
Just wanking it. to
Kissing
DBZ.
dudes.
First he kissed.
Well, it was nerve wracking, but I definitely wasn't excited.
Thank you, by the way. What about we get some input from the audience on this one?
We did.
All right.
We got a
Really?
got a couple. Actually, yeah.
Was it just fresh
No, actually,
from
it was,
his other account?
It was none of us.
Oh, awesome.
I'm disappointed in myself. But name drop.
Yeah, go for it.
Lemon Soul Studios. Okay, so I guess the question was.
Shouts to Sierra at Lemon Soul Studios.
Lemon-
Doing good work.
The question was, give us your example of the good old days. So, sorry, excuse me one moment. So, Lemon Soul Studios, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on, playing Legos, and smashing a PB&J.
Smashing a PB and J. That's
Still
Mickey's
do that,
every day.
yeah. That's no. There's no PB and J. It's just
Oh yeah,
PB,
PB,
and toast.
PB and T.
PBT.
Oh yeah. Okay, I feel that.
CJ Boner.
What's that man saying?
Recording radio songs onto cassette tapes.
Ooh.
Okay,
All right.
yeah. I wonder if he made mixtapes for his excellent choices of women.
Quite possible.
Probably.
Benny Toe Alexander. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, Benny. What's up, Benny?
Well, it's the whole name. Anyways, when I didn't have a mortgage and bills to the fucking ceiling. For real, though.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not something that I get nostalgic about. Like thinking about like, oh, I remember not having to pay bills, because I just remember like doing stuff, not doing stuff. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
No,
No,
that makes sense.
I'm in the. I'm like, I want to pay bills.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I want to
Fair
go
enough.
back to paying bills.
I want to pay my bills.
All right.
And,
all right. So
White girl. When kids played outside and not on electronics.
Okay, hold on. So that was the person's username.
White girl.
White girl. Okay, yeah. All right. So it wasn't like Miley Cyrus or anything.
No.
Okay.
White girl. When kids played outside and not on electronics.
That's an old person thing to remember, I feel.
Well,
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a kid.
But you play outside with her.
Yeah, but she also plays on like she always wants to play the iPad thing because like Gigi does that, you know, which is fine. Like, but we put like a limit on that.
Right.
See,
But-
I can remember I can remember to the best of my abilities that having a pretty balance of both. Like, yeah, I enjoyed my gaming to a crazy extent, but
Sorry.
I love to go outside and play. Like, we had our all fantasy things going on. We played RPGs in real life. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, we did that.
LARPing.
So
Yeah.
before this ends, I got to say this. This is you just hit. I had like two different childhoods in my mind.
Oh.
It's weird. Okay, so I grew up in a neighborhood, and like when you're young, you know, you got your street boundaries, and like you,
Sure.
like at least I did. I don't know. You grew up in the county, so like, but like I had.
Yeah, there
I
was
in the
just a
suburb.
street.
You had field boundaries.
Yeah, like I couldn't go past this busy street, this busy street, this busy street, this busy street.
Oh, I
That's
see,
where you can
okay.
take your bike, right? So, essentially, all your friends are within these boundaries, right? Who you hang out with outside of school, and none of my friends went to my school, like in my neighborhood. We all went to different schools, but we had like a forest. Quote, it's just like a wooded like strip, but it was a forest when you're a kid, right? So we're in there building tree forts after school, and like so I had my school friends and then my after school friends and weekend friends, which was a weird mix, right? Because my school friends didn't really come over to my house. It was just always the neighborhood kids that I never really. And then I moved from that neighborhood into the neighborhood I'm in now, and then all my school friends lived in my neighborhood.
Okay.
So then I lost all those kinds of friends, you know what I mean? And then we started doing the band thing and stuff. So I got this like really weird split of being outside all of the time, building tree forts. Like I built so many tree forts, it's stupid. Like I guarantee if we went back there, some of my forts would still be there,
That's
or like
cool.
remnants of them. And then I got like the other half where it was like Game Boy and the band, and then more like video games and stuff. And hanging out with like school friends, doing homework with them like more regularly, and it's weird now that I think about it.
It is weird.
But
It's
right,
very
but like I
interesting.
have, yeah, huh. Anyway, you just jogged a
No,
shit
I'm
ton of
glad.
memories by I don't know what you said, but you did it.
We're just bonding.
Just classic
shared
I'm
experiences.
bonding.
Feeling the warmth in this room right now.
Absolutely.
I hope to be nostalgic about this in the future.
But I will say, man, I will say I you know I still see people outside playing and kids outside and all that, but
Absolutely.
it was a different vibe. You know, it is a different thing now.
Yeah.
kids today don't get it.
Oh boy.
And it's all, and I will stick to this. All of the issues stem from our problems as a community, from the internet, social media, and not knowing how to interact with people in real life anymore, and just literal material blindness, plant blindness, communal blindness. It's
Yep.
just we're all blind, and we choose to be ignorant for it. So, or to it all,
Yeah.
subconsciously or consciously. So,
Yeah.
anyway, I'm not ranting anymore. I'm done.
No, you're right. A lot of this stuff has been they've figured our brains out. Just like BuzzFeed figured out how to milk nostalgia, like
Yeah.
these things have figured out how to maximize the attention they get from us.
Right.
Phones have been designed by behavioral psychologists.
Is that true?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They bring teams on to go, how can we make this addicting? Oh, do this.
Who's the psychologist that signed on for that? I guess
Some evil
enough
prick?
money.
Some
and he-
multimillionaire.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, some greedy fuck, just like everyone else.
Dang, that's scary.
You know what? You
Shit
know what's
works.
real scary? We'll end it on the 5G.
See, I thought they weren't doing that, man.
The waves, bro. Oh, they are. Rogers is rolling it out now.
Fuck that.
5G. Have you looked into this shit?
I haven't.
Look into this shit.
It's not good.
'Cause
We
I
need
thought
to
it
do an
kinda got
episode on
stonewalled.
this. No,
All right.
we
Well-
have to.
All right, we're gonna talk about some 5G.
It's fucked up. Not only 5G, but everything.
Hmm.
Everything. 3G, 4G, LTE, waves in general.
Mm-hmm,
The waves, bro. The vibes.
Bad vibes, though.
Yeah, not good nostalgic vibes.
Nah.
I definitely know that.
Okay, I mean, well, I think we're gonna have to explore that one further. Yeah, cool. Anybody else got anything?
I
Closing
want to
thoughts?
hear your nostalgia.
Oh, my nostalgia.
He said it. Street Sharks, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm
sorry.
actually not.
I'm kidding.
Well, we went on we told a story. We painted a picture.
What is yours?
I don't know that.
It's just black.
No, man, it's like, I don't know, maybe I've just thought so much about this stuff that I've ruined any sweetness the memories have for me. But like,
Hitting the stairs with me in the truck, bro.
I mean, that was
Nostalgia,
pretty great.
man.
That
I
was
still
pretty
have
great.
nostalgia like that.
No, I don't know, because I really think that this is pretty much the best time of my life.
Aw.
And you know,
Fair
I
enough.
have like regrets. Like I'd go back and do shit differently, but some of them are extreme, so I don't really feel nostalgic about shit. And even like as a kid, like knowing what I know about my own behaviors that I've learned, like so much of the shit that I enjoyed. And I'm not saying this makes it wrong, but like it was a form of escapism because I was
Right.
like very deeply unhappy in a lot of ways. So I don't feel super nostalgic about anything except winter.
Winter. There it is, man.
Just to bring it full circle, man. Like I really, as a kid, I fucking loved it. You want to talk about going outside?
Yeah.
That's where Little Fresh was, in the snow, baby.
I feel that. I do.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Otherwise, I mean, I like to look forward.
That's fair, man. That's a good mindset to, live in the present. Maybe when you need that break, that relaxation, that good feeling, then maybe it's, if you can handle your nostalgia in doses, almost like medicine, maybe it's good.
Yeah,
Right?
I like
If
that
you're-
thought.
if-
I like that thought.
If I'm sitting back and it's 9 p.m., I got all my shit done, I'm super productive, blah, 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 and I want to have a smoke and I want to think back on something, like I let my mind go, like let it do its natural thing, and if that nostalgia comes, accept it and then let it pass. Don't live and harbor
Yeah.
it, right? Which I obviously fail at, but I'll get there. But I think that's a good thing.
Be a good,
Yeah.
be a
You know,
good
that's
time.
it's a good.
And I think that's a pretty great note to close on, unless you guys
Thanks.
got anything
Well,
else to say.
I was gonna say like the nostalgia, mind medicine. Be a good title for a book.
Let's get a tea. Let's make it tea. Mind medicine.
Mind medicine.
All of our teas need to be very long and wordy. That's what I want.
Perfect.
I want like sermonizing.
Paragraphs.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like Slick's eco rant and Mickey talking about I don't know,
Nonsense.
talking some shit. Yeah.
Stats. Just nothing but percentages and stats. Like what the fuck is this?
The
China.
definition of vinyl is
Yeah.
China is Asia.
China is Asia.
casual
me.
racism.
Mom jobs.
But encompassing it all, be happy with yourself.
Yeah, and that's really the thing. So be happy with yourself however you can. Take your mind medicine, use it to bond. It's a lovely, lovely thing. But don't forget to get a little bit uncomfortable. You know, live in the moment, think for the future, and just use that nostalgia in a nice dose to, I don't know, maybe be happy with yourself.